I like to wander around and I want a place to go instead of just being like completely aimless. Like when I walk outside the door of my house, I want a direction to turn essentially. And so I was looking for a new project and something to work on. And I knew this park was there and it had like, it's like up on a bluff over the Mississippi River. So it has like a nice view of downtown St. Paul. And so I just went there to walk around and there was this plaque there that was like a historical marker about Jonathan Carver being there. And it had this information about that it was above the cave and that it was that he was looking for the Northwest Passage. So after that, then I looked up more about him and what he was doing there and went from there. I mean, I think it's also telling that that plaque has since been removed. I think that's interesting too. It's now actually much more clear when you go there that it's like there's signs that say this is a cemetery and it's the perspective of the signage of the area has really changed to be putting indigenous people first. I've been interested in photography for a really long time. When I was in high school, I wanted to take a photo class. I couldn't have told you why. I think I've always been an observant person, and I think that has something to do with it. And I think it sort of allows a certain amount of solitude. And so the way I've like developed my practice over time of involving walking and sort of working alone and thinking about like larger ideas and themes, I think just sort of relates to who I am. So after I read about Jonathan Carver in Minnesota, I followed some of the other areas that he went, which included along the Minnesota River and also up to like Lake Superior. And I photographed in those areas as well. And then I started looking into other people that were also searching for the Northwest Passage. I read this book, Voyages of Delusion, the quest for the Northwest Passage, that just described how over centuries there were numerous people looking for this that all failed and all ignored pretty obvious signs that there wasn't just some massive waterway through the middle of a continent. And so I started following and going to places where other people had been looking for it. And so some of that was continuing through the Midwest into South Dakota, where following the Missouri River. And so some of the pictures are from there, and some of the pictures are, I started following the St. Lawrence Seaway, which goes by Montreal, but also, and just so I was photographing in Quebec. And then some of the pictures are not really any place in particular that there's a particular historic reference, but just sort of fit thematically. And I'd follow my own route. The difference between making a discovery and being lost is like really, really tenuous. So I think a lot of these explorers were lost, but also claiming that they were discovering things. And so I think that gives me the freedom to sort of wander